Hello.
Hello, hello. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome everybody to what are we here today? Every first and third Thursday. If you don't know, shame on you. Help Heal Humanity show with yours truly, the Queen Bee, Serena Buffalino, and yourself, Barbara J. Beckley.
Yes,
Hi.
yes. You're the queen, girl. You're the queen.
I love you. So, I think I get excited first for the show being on twice a month. And then second, I get to see you
Yes,
because you so busy and I'm busy. The word of the century is busy. And we don't really get a chance to, really just have like a conversation we have it on the show.
you're right. You know what? You're totally right. I do. I miss that. I miss engaging as much as I used to, but with like two full-time jobs, it's
Yes.
it's getting harder and harder to engage and communicate and keep up with everything. But we
No.
are consistent, at least here with the Healing
Yeah.
Humanities podcast.
Yes.
And we do show up, and we do not only show the work that we are doing, but especially nights like tonight, we have incredible guests
Yeah,
who
we have. Yeah,
are
we have. That's going to blow your mind. So I want to say something before we bring this wonderful, incredible guest, because you kind of took it out the bag, but that's okay because we want to make sure that people get surprised. And I always want to say, Serena, that um, with this show, I have been getting some feedback. Now, this is a surprise for you. And it's nice to get feedback. So I'm just gonna let people know, please, put your comments in. If it's not here, you can always messenger me, you can email me, because we always like to hear, what you like about the show, what you're getting out of it. And one particular person came to me, was a lady. She didn't want me to say her name, but she wanted me to give her love. She said, I want you all to know that your show is a breath of fresh air in this world today.
yay.
And I was like, you know me.
Yeah,
It just hit my heart. I
yeah.
was like,
You cried. You started crying.
ah, we're a breath of fresh air in this world today. And she said, this needs to be multiplied. There need to be more shows like this. She said, it's really sad. And this is the part where I agree with her. This is really sad that people don't uplift these type of shows more when you're bringing on people that are doing things in the world, helping people, loving people, caring for people, supporting people, but they want to see all this other craziness that's going on and it's getting in people's minds. She says, so she told me to tell you specifically, tell Serena Buffalino to keep the work up because it's needed. So yes.
And you know what? I'll be honest, Barbara. It's good to hear stuff like that because sometimes, we are so in it, and when you're in it and you're on the grounds and you're doing it, there's the behind the scenes that nobody sees, which is the things that we deal with,
Mm-hmm.
and the heartache and the pain and the suffering. But then
Mm-hmm.
there is the other side of it, which is the joy and the love and the community. And you know, it's for people like us who are behind the scenes. Like it's good to know that people are listening, watching, and that it is making an impact. And more than anything, it's it's all about making life better. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about trying to alleviate suffering, and it's about yeah, just learning how to cope and manage in hard times and shed light and be love and give love. And so
Yes.
I think we do a good job of that. I think
Yeah,
I hope we do.
you
Spread
do.
love, spread joy. There's so much negativity, too much.
Oh,
So
don't even get me started. But before we bring up our wonderful celebrity guest, I just want to say that she was right. Just keep doing it, even if she said even if you just touch one person. She said, but we know you're touching many more than one person. But it's just if one person, that she said, just know that it was needed for that one person because you're saving lives. She said you're literally saving lives. So I wanted to make that testimony. And we're going to have more testimonies that come for the show because, like you said, Serena, it keeps us focusing on what's really the need and not just, everywhere else and all the crazy stuff like you're saying. It really keeps us focused and people are resonating and saying there's a need for it. So, Serena,
yay,
yay.
yay,
So,
yay.
with that said, we're going to get right into our wonderful celebrity guest. I know he's probably like, she keeps saying celebrity. Well, he is a celebrity. He's a celebrity. And Serena, I'm telling you, lady, I know this is your first time meeting him, but I'm telling you, when you meet him, he's like family.
Yeah.
So Mr. Jose Pereira was wrongfully detained and held captive in Venezuela for nearly 5 years from November 21, 2017 to October 1st, 2022. His only crime was that he is an American. Before he was taken hostage, he spent 35 years as an oil company executive and CEO of Citgo Petroleum, a U.S. based refinery complex and broad gas station distribute. So this man, I told you he's a celebrity, right?
Yeah.
His story since evolved into a movement, changing the narrative on what it takes to bring the wrongful detained home and how to find peace following such a traumatic experience. Having gone through his hostage experience in the hostile foreign country expanded Jose's perception of how to measure accomplishments and reach success. The combination of both his profession, expertise, unique lived experience has led him to the desire to help others in their own journey to success. Wow. Every time I read that, every time I look at that, it just really gets me. So now we have to go to our sponsor. But right after we go to our sponsor, we're going to hear from this wonderful celebrity, Mr. Jose, and I'm telling you, it's going to be some wonderful golden nuggets. We'll be right back.
Concerning your career advancement in athletic administration. Do you feel your leadership is invisible or not your desired level? Knowing the right networks can help move you to the next level. Monique A.J. Smith is here to assist you, empower you to your next level. We help leaders see their desired objectives through executive one-on-one coaching, group monthly mastermind virtual gatherings and training, in-person staff development training. Seeds of Empowered has provided staff retreats and workshops. See the future with possibilities and feel in control of your career and become a valued contributor to your leadership career. We'll get you to your career leadership advancement. Increase your possibilities. Contact Monique A.J. Smith today.
And we are back. We are back. We are back. Mr. Jose. Ah, yes. I met you through another wonderful queen, Mrs. Luana Bradford, and you've been on her shows, you've been on my two shows. Now you're on Help Me Man because I kind of said, oh, you got to come, you got to be with me and Serena. So, sir, it's just an honor and a privilege to talk to you, to even get more insight about your story. So, I want to stop there and I want you to really kind of, just have your way with the story and then kind of dig into that. And also, once you talk about that, dig into how you're helping so many people in the world.
Well, thank you for having me. Wow, I'm overwhelmed hearing all what you're saying. Um, as you said, I was a long-term oil executive. I'm Venezuelan born. I became a citizen like 15 years ago. I came from Venezuela to here uh, to work with Citgo Petroleum. That Citgo Petroleum, even there is a U.S. based company, belongs to Petróleo de Venezuela. That is the Venezuelan oil company. And I did a long career, 30 years. Not only me, because I come from a kind of a dynasty of my father and my grandfather, my grandmother, my mother. So all my family were oil workers because in Venezuela always was a very big oil country. Unfortunately, today there's the situation there is not going good because all these unfortunately regimes that has uh, you know I'm not going to talk about that. But the point is that Venezuela, back to the 80s when I began my career, was one of the biggest oil countries in the world. It was like a second oil producer of the world, and PDVSA was the fifth oil company of the world. So it was big deal working there. So I began to do my career, and I said that in my last 15 years, I came here and I continued my career. And at the end of the career, I became the CEO of the company. So that was kind of in the pinnacle of my career. Uh, and the awkward situation is that I was preparing to get retired because I was having 35 years in the company, and as the situation in Venezuela, I didn't like the way it was going. So I talked with my wife. I said, you know what? I'm gonna get retired. So I went and talked with what was my boss at that time, and he accepted me to get retired. That was in October 2017. So accepted me to get retired 4 months after. He told me retire in February. So I came back here to Houston. I continued doing my job, and I was already getting my mindset to get retired. It was becoming Thanksgiving, so I was in the Thanksgiving mode, preparing for my Christmas, taking a vacation, and ready to get retired. And I was that day in a movie with my wife, and I suddenly I received a phone call. That phone call, and the phone call was asking me to go to a travel the day after to Caracas because there was gonna be a urgent budget meeting, and that budget meeting that by the way it happened. The event happened when I arrived the other day. There was a big meeting. It was 1,000 people in that meeting, and I did a presentation. I did a presentation because by that time we were revamping a refinery in Aruba, in the Aruba Island, and I did a presentation of the revamping of that refinery. And when I was preparing to get back to Houston, I was making my presentation and coming back to well, it came the situation that you never expected. They came like 20 guys with I always thought they were looking like those Robocops, very black outfit and with mask and all these things. When I saw this guy coming in, I asked the guy that I had sitting down with me that who were this guy, and that guy was really scared. He told me this is the counterintelligence military police of the country, and they asked for me, and I said, why this guy are asking for me? Well, the point is we inadvertently get caught in the middle of the political situation that was going on in that moment between the U.S. government and that regime because they have been imposing sanctions very similar to the one that today Russia has in the Ukraine war. They had done oil embargoes, a lot of things, and I never expected that I get caught in that situation. So we became the political pawn of the situation. And long story short, that situation back and forward, the administration that was in place at that moment couldn't bring us back. The next administration that is today, finally, after years of negotiation, after almost 5 years, we came back to a prisoner swap in October 2022. So the final conclusion of our situation was coming back through a prisoner swap. So in October 1st, 2022, you can go to Google it. Um, we landed in a Caribbean island called San Vicente, and that day we learned that we were being swapped by the two nephews of the president of Venezuela. so so we came back, and we were protected, of course, by the U.S. government, and they put us in a military base in San Antonio in a decompression program because we were treated like the same way they were treating the prisoner of war when they're returning from a missing in actions. So we received the same treatment the military received, and we stayed like 10 days there, and after that became my new life. Being released after 5 years. So that long story short is my story of my 5 year being hostage.
Okay, but I have lots of questions. You can't just say you were held hostage for 5 years and then you came back. Um, I don't. So, like, what exactly happened? Like, where were you? Why did they take you? Where were you held? And like, what was 5 years being held hostage like?
Oh well,
Like
I have talked this several times, and every time I talk about this, I always get surprised because I still don't understand the situation. Because one of the situations that today I talk very loudly is that this thing is something that is called the hostage diplomacy. This today I'm very vocal raising awareness on this. What is the hostage diplomacy? Educate the public. There are several governments in the world. Basically, these regimes that are communist. You know, they apply the same technique. We're talking here countries like China, Russia, Iran, Afghanistan, Yemen, North Korea, Myanmar, Venezuela, Cuba. So there is a technique that they have been refining. It's a very sophisticated technique. It's called hosted diplomacy because it's a type of way of doing diplomacy. So they take regular people,
yeah,
normally high profile personnel, but regular, not politician, regular people, because today I know a lot of former hostages, all of them, I can tell you, have been businessmen, environmental advocates, human rights advocates, a priest, a
yeah,
priest in a mission in Niger. Um, there's a guy that he was a very famous environmentalist, one of the most famous protectors of the wildlife in Iran. So guys, they're doing things normally and inadvertently, because the situation between the two countries are not going good and are having something that they believe they can leverage. They take you, they put charts and create a sham trial. In our case, we were accused to espionage. We were accused of treason. We were accused of embezzlement. So they put a lot of charge because they create the noise to leverage you and then negotiate. So
yeah.
so that's the way it works. And it takes so long. I can tell you, I stayed 5 years. I know guys that have been, they still are today, have 10, 12 years. Some guys that came back from Iran like some months ago, more or less had 7 years. And at the end of December, came back 10 more guys from Venezuela because Venezuela began to be one of the biggest hostage takers of the world. They had almost 20 people. But the good news that they cleared the deck. Today, with Venezuela, the deck was clear, but it took years of negotiation and concessions. Because the problem with this situation is exactly that it's a hard call for the government because they had to do concessions. And those concessions sometimes are not very well looked politically. But one of the things that today, mostly the, the campaign that we support and the foundation that work with this, always are talking about this, that this is something that you're talking about human beings. You know, it's difficult, but at the end, it's human beings that their life, the only way they can be returned is having arrangement between the two governments. This is nothing, this doesn't have nothing to do with law, nothing. Nothing that you do will return you unless there is an agreement between the two governments. That's the way this works, unfortunately.
So,
So
just to interrupt, you are basically being held as a hostage, so that to, the government and some other political party, you until they figure out a deal or an agreement, there's absolutely nothing that anyone can do. You're basically stuck, held
nothing.
in a place.
Nothing. And in the case, when this happened to us, it was terrible because the first year, the relation between the U.S. and Venezuela was so bad that even the U.S. ambassador was expelled from the country. It went, when you take out an ambassador, the
Yeah.
relation was bad. So that was happened there. They expelled the ambassador when we learned that this guy was uh, taken out of the country, we saw who is. So we were like, how we gonna go out here? Because you get totally lost. You don't know what to do. And that first year for us was really terrible, terrible because the relations were so bad, and they wanted to give the the impression to the government that they were, being hard players. They were treating us really bad. So our first
So
year was really bad.
where are you being held? Like you have
Well,
obviously,
we were put this country. They have, as I said, this country intelligent military police is a replica of the Iranian and the Chinese and the Russian counterintelligence police. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same model. So
yeah,
they have in a military base there, in a third floor basement, three floors down, in a basement. I was there with all the political prisoners of Venezuela,
wow,
military and civil. I I I was with
yeah,
generals they are against the government that today are part of the political prisoner there. So I literally live with all these guys. So that the first year, as I said, I was totally isolated. We were six guys. We were six guys because when I flew with my five top executives, and they took us the six, and they separate the six. So I saw these guys 1 year after.
yeah,
I didn't know if they were alive. I didn't know absolutely nothing, nothing, because we were put in a place they called the submarine, and we were totally confined. So at some point, you lose even the sense of time because we didn't have no way to know what day was. We had the lights 24/7 all day long, turned on.
yeah,
Was like a constant psychological situation. We were starving because the other thing is that when this situation happened, because all these sanctions, the economy of Venezuela began to deteriorate very fast. So in 20, because we were in November 2017, so literally in the beginning of 2018, the situation in Venezuela was so bad. If you go to the press of that time, the population were starving to death. So we were starving to death because there was no food, there was no medicine. So the first year, I lost 100 pounds. The first year,
holy,
I lost 100 pounds, and the other guys, one of them lost like 60 pounds, other 50 pounds. All of us lost a lot of weight, a lot of weight. I remember that the first time we saw us, uh, as I said, 1 year after when we saw us, we were like scared. At the same time, we were happy because we found that all of us were alive.
yeah,
So
I'm all,
we hug ourselves, we cried, and but we were in very very bad shape, very bad shape. So the and and the U.S. government, we learned that since day one they were working to bring us back. So, but because of the ambassador situation, they began to triangulate with the UN. So they put the UN to bring a commission. So a UN, there is a commission of the UN called the Arbitrary Detention Commission. That they flew to Venezuela. They were allowed to go there because it's the UN. So the UN visit us, and when they visit us, wow, when these guys saw us, I remember that the guys were in shock when they saw us. We were really very, very bad shape. And they went to, because I remember there was a lady, she's from France, and the guy was from Spain. So this guy, after that, they came the day after. They said, "Hey, we already talked with the government. We said you're gonna die because I was having serious uh, 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 illness. I had bronchitis, pneumonia, scabies, a lot of things. So so this guy went to the government and they pressured. They said, "Hey, these guys are gonna die." So that pressure was so big because even the intervened the international penalty court. So the thing began to, be escalate big, and this guy began to relax a little bit the situation, and because there was no food, they said, okay, we will allow your family to bring you food. So they asked our family to bring us food. So
Wow.
our family was here in the U.S. So in my case, my wife, what she did is my elder son, he moved to Colombia. He moved to Colombia, and from Colombia he began to do the grocery every week. He did a grocery. He sent them in a box to Venezuela, and somebody in Venezuela took that, cook, and sent me the. Was a total logistic. My son keep doing that during 4 years. 4 years doing that. 4 years. So he came back to here to the U.S. after I was released. So I was released in October, and in November he was here. After 4 years in that, I cannot imagine.
Yeah,
I
no, but it just seems
Today I talked to my
so low.
wife. I said I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they did it. To tell you the truth.
You're muted, Barbara.
Yeah, you're muted, Barbara.
Oh, why are people muting me? No, I'm just kidding. Before, first of all, amazing. I know Serena's still like, oh my god. But before, I want to, because of the time here, and we want to make sure I would give some more love to Jose when it comes to how he's helping. So, if people just tuning in, this is called the transformation from hostage to warrior with Jose here. And I created that title because I look at him with this transformation of 5 years. Come on, let's just kind of look at the synopsis of this 5 years being held hostage, couldn't go, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. See, lost 100 pounds, probably couldn't even recognize himself and other guys that was with him. And then for family to come together, his own son saying, I got to get my father some food. So I'm moving. I mean, come on. I mean, and then his wife. So I just want people to understand of the transformation that you had, Jose, from being hostage for 5 years and then little by little, like you said, it was we can't even fathom what you went through, but how you stayed sane. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. How your mindset blows me away when you talk about the journey, and you had to keep yourself going, and how your wife was just your angel, and how your son was just your angel. And then now that you came out of that, I want you to tell the audience about what you're doing now, because you have a lot of things going on, and I know you have a nonprofit as well. So if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, when I came back, one of the first thing that I did is that I discovered that this situation was not unique. To tell you the truth, I didn't know that this was happening.
Mm,
Many Americans doesn't know that this is happening. For me, it was a surprise. So one month after I came, I discovered this situation, and I flew to Washington because there was a mural that was created with our faces in Washington, because our families created a foundation called the Bring Our Family Home campaign that basically is supporting the basically is families supporting families, and this campaign really was key in our return, because for the first time, because this is something that even the U.S. government has recognized, that all the families getting together and begin to row in the same direction and making
mm,
the pressure together was a game changer. Because
mm,
now the pressure was not one family, was dozens of family talking at the same row, and that really was a game changer. So I went to the mural because for me the mural was something like miracle. And I remember that 1 month after I came there, I went to Washington. I was planning to go to a quiet, taking some photo with my wife, but I was not aware that I was the first person going back to the back to that mural. So in Washington, when they knew I was going, they prepared a big event. So when I got there, I saw a lot of congressmen and ambassadors and a lot of people, and I was totally overwhelmed because I had only 1 month. I said, what is this? So for me,
Celebrity.
was a surprise, but at the same time, I discovered, because I began to meet the families and meet former hostage, and that really touched my heart when I began to hear all the stories. I said, well, something has to be done. And that's why I decided to begin to be vocal on this. And even though I converted this in a coaching program today, no? But so I have like this kind of the two passions: do the advocacy awareness to the hosted situation. That today I not only the Bring Our Family Home campaign, I support all the foundation that work in that area today. Yesterday I had an interview with one of the foundations that is gonna they prepare a yearly report that they deliver to the Congress, and I was interviewed by them because they wanted my voice to be there as a former hostess, my vision to make change in the legislation. Because one of the things today that I really I'm saying that this is something that is so difficult because sometimes get in the middle of the politics, because you're talking about doing concession and some party don't agree. So it's difficult. But taking out all these things and thinking that really we're talking about human beings and
Mhm.
giving support to the families, because this is something else. People think that, oh, it was released a hot, oh, bravo. This is a small piece of the iceberg. Because when the people come back, that was my situation. You really are kind of coming in a time machine. You were
Mhm.
lost in translation
For
for years,
5
and then you
years,
come
yeah.
back to another world, in a post-pandemic world, by the way. It totally changed, and then you had to navigate all these things, and
Mhm.
sometimes the people have been doing it alone. Today, I more glad that even because we were like kind of guinea pigs of the situation, that
Mhm.
today the situation has been improving, but more has to be done.
That's
Today exist these foundations. The people that go through the situation now, they have this support. There is a congress cell that is dedicated to this. There is an act called the Robertson Levinson Act that today exists to support, but more has to be done. But the situation has evolving
yeah.
in a
It
more
takes
positive way.
time.
The situation that happened recently in the Middle East pop up more
Mhm.
the situation. But this is something that really really is terrible. The suffering of the family. So today I have been vocal. I have been supporting. I have been working with them and helping them. I also have my coaching program, because the other side is that I decided to convert this something to help business owners, entrepreneurs. They're having struggle in their life and have leadership issues, because this is something that has to do with that. That part of our journey is part, because I was talking this morning with somebody that there is a famous case in the 70s of a soccer team from Chile that was lost in the plane crash in Los Andes. In- and now it became a series in Netflix. It's called the Citizens of the Snow, something like that. Okay, that's based on the story. That's based on the story.
Mhm.
When I was hearing their story, I saw a lot of things, similar to things with the six. Because when we got together after 1 year and we were put together, we created like a plan to survive. And today, this is something that I talk to everybody, that anything in your life, you can survive it. There are a lot of things we did basically for common sense, but now I have been more investigating, educating myself, and this is something
Mhm.
that really I believe that can help a lot of people
Yeah.
how to navigate any adversities in their life.
Yes.
Because today
Yeah.
you can say any adversity. We went through that, but you can be in any adversity in your life. You can have a problem in your marriage, or you went broke, or you have
Oh,
lost a
yeah.
loved one. Name it, anyone. But the way you have to deal with this, they have to do more that with that mindset, having, because for me, this was something that really we all of us, the six, I can say all the six of us had a great mindset. In December, we were received by the mayor of Houston. He did a proclamation and he created a Citgo 6 day. So we were honored to have our own day. Today, I have our
Awesome.
own day here. Yeah, yeah. So he recognized our deal and how we manage it and
Yeah.
our wife. And so I saw we were gathered, the six of us, and
Yeah.
and and I told them, man, I'm so proud what we did because we did it together. This was
Yes.
something that we did together. We did it because this is something. When you have something, you don't have to do it alone. You need to be surrounded
Advice
for the
of the
people
people.
that support you. So we were
Mhm.
supporting us. So we did a lot of things that today I'm more cautious that we did great things, and well, that's the way I decided to make my ordeal and transform it in something that can become meaningful to others.
You did it. You did it. You transformed it all right. And that's what I was getting to. But Jose, what I want to do because of time, I want to make sure any lasting thought that you had. So I'm going to take myself down and Serena down. And you got 30 seconds. Just leave anything heartfelt for the audience and we'll come back and I'll make sure they have your contact information as you're talking. So we'll be right back.
Well, I want to tell the audience, as I have been talking, please hear me. If you're going through any situation in your life, you have to understand that you need to be focused in the situation. You have to be very positive, even in the dark moment, surrounded. Never do this alone. Look your spirituality and keep your mental and physical health. If you do all these things, you will overcome it. So if you need any support, there is my contact there. You can contact me there, and well, we can have a chat because that is what today I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Jose. And again, let it please everybody, please get to Jose's website. I'm telling you, his story is powerful. He just said just little snippets of it today. But if you read his whole post, his background, his bio, and see what he's doing, because he's helping families that are going through this now. And see, you never know. Again, that's why I get so. Me and Serena always says, you never know where the help is coming from with these
And the
different.
book is coming out next month. So
Oh, the movie you said?
that the book is
Oh,
gonna come
the
out,
book. I'm about to say, yeah,
and
you have a
and
movie. I thought you said
no,
movie.
no, the movie. I'm having some conversation too. That is a little bit slower, but I'm having the conversation soon.
I
Yeah.
know the movie should be coming out. So if you need me to put a pick a sign up for that, I'll do it. Say you need to make the movie. Okay, sir. Thank you again. You're always welcome back to Help Humanity, sir. As always, your family to me. Serena, I'm telling you, we're going to be having more and more individuals come on and tell their stories because it's all about showing that and showing how whatever in your situation, like Jose said, is the mindset and how you use that and just push your way for perseverance. So thank you again, Jose. We really appreciate you. And again, we will be right back. We have some things, updates from Help Humanity from Serena, but we'll be right back after this sponsor.
And although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have to have a warm meal in their bellies to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today. My name is Serena Buffalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
And we're back. And let's see. Serena looks like she's on mute. There we go.
Where did I go? Oh, here I'm back.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello. So now we're going to give some wonderful updates regarding Help Heal Humanity. And I'm going to give that floor to Serena.
Yeah, just for a few minutes. I mean, I want to thank Jose. There's so much that I want to say to it, like so much that I would love to explore. And maybe even in another episode we can do it, because I know the hostage situation in which he was in is very different, but in Haiti, the kidnappings and the hostage situation is happening every day, and it's happening now, right? So, like as you say, we give an update on Haiti, and it's always like I always try to make it relevant to our show as well. And right now, I mean, I want to say HHH, we're always doing the good work, and we are always doing what is needed, not necessarily always what our mandate is. Yes, we believe in education and building schools and student sponsorship and food insecurities and helping people get off the streets, helping people be motivated, inspired, get a second chance at life, get an education to be something better than they aren't at the moment. But in Haiti, our charity, we've had to deal with kidnappings, we've had to deal with hostage situations, and just recently, not proud of it, but we did have in Haiti right now it's $42.50 US to buy a bag of rice. Um, and the gangs have taken over the streets. So not only can you not work, you have no food, no electricity, no water, you have no job, you have no money, you have no food, and if you're as lucky enough to get a donation to get food, you can't even get out on the streets safely to receive the food to feed yourself and your family. So it's really desperate situation. It's really hard times over the holiday season. HHH is like one of many, but not tons of organizations that are still on the grounds. And when I mean on the grounds, I mean literally on the grounds. We have our Haitian community, we have our Haitian families, we have our Haitian HHH members who are constantly, not because we ever ask them, nor would we ever, put their lives on their line because they want to feed kids. They want to see, better for their country, for their future. But we've had some moms recently get into a lot of trouble because they tried to go buy food when they were not supposed to, and that caused a little bit of chaos in one of our school buildings. But again, we are fortunate enough in our people in our community, because when you are born in Haiti and you are a professional in Haiti, you are trained how to deal with kidnapping hostage situations, right? So, it is a really sad, unfortunately, circumstance in which HHH we are the people who, believe in doing the work. And I don't know why I always feel like we're going to be guided and protected because we're doing like God's work. And,
Hmm.
and luckily we do are still our schools remain open. We just completed term one report cards, and I know to most people it's like, yeah, so it's report card day. It's like, no, it's report card day in the biggest ghetto, in the biggest slum, in
Yes.
the scariest places in the world, where not many schools are opening, not no families are getting fed, but somehow our little angels, we are we are doing it. We are doing it. And so,
Yes.
think I think about the that Asian has, which is just unlimited in what we can do because of the communications and the team and what we've built over 12 years of working faithfully in Haiti. And the only thing that really prevents us from being able to do more is funding. So I always say, like, if anybody has anything in it to give, $5, $10, $20,
Yes.
there are no paid employees in HHA. But
Yes.
if we give tirelessly, endlessly to our charity. I give a lot of my life to this charity, and so do the rest of our board members and our community members. And it is people who, like us, like we're on the ground, we do good work. We're over the Christmas holidays because we didn't really check in since Christmas. And over the Christmas holidays, we fed over 10,000 people and families. We provided and
Wait a minute. Wait. I gotta stop you on that. Say it again. How many was fed
over
again?
the Christmas holiday in our 5 days of giving, we were able to put out over 10,000 meals to the people on the streets and people facing food insecurity. So we fed, you know, 10,000 families over a 2 week period to make sure that, especially during the Christmas time and these hard times, that most people in the world, and I mean, I don't want to take much time because our show is over. It's like there's a war going on. Most of us are celebrating and we are trying to have the beautiful table set and the great meals and the beautiful outfits and the glam and the pictures but at the end of the day, it's really like,
My people.
what can we do for others? And the
Yes.
simplest acts of kindness and the smallest donations add up to smiles, add up to bellies being fed, add up to, we had over 150 kids who are living in shelters receive their Christmas list fulfilled because of our donors. So that's 150 kids who are living in shelter who are expecting Santa to come to the shelter and expecting their mom who's living in shelter or family to provide gifts for them. And there's no money, there is no gifts. So again, I want to comment on what HHH was able to accomplish in only 2 short weeks. And again, we fed 10,000 families. We provided 150 kids with their gift list. We gave 150 moms gift cards so that they could go and buy something for themselves or something that they need. It was sad because the mom's wish list was grocery cards. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The
But
mom's
that's what they need.
that's what it is. And again, there are many organizations that are doing this, but it's hard times. It's hard times all over the world, and so if we can continue to, as Jose was saying, to be kind, to have a positive mindset, to know that every little thing is nothing.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that was a huge act of faith and kindness that his son did to
Yes.
get closer to his father so that his father can be fed. And
Mhm.
this is humility. This is giving up your life so that somebody else can have a chance or somebody else can eat. So at the Healing Humanity Show, we're always just trying to showcase beautifulness, love, community support, and help heal humanity. We are constantly every day, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in the USA, in Haiti, in Spain. Um, we are just we are listening to what the people want, and we're asking the public to donate to what the people want, and we are just making sure that the donors' money and what is in need, that we are delivering that. So we're like the little messengers in the middle, trying to make miracles happen all over the world. So
Yes.
you know, there's a lot to come up for the new year. We're in the middle of our strategic planning. We know for sure we're going to be doing a couple of events this year. We know we want to grow and expand our charities. So maybe in the next show, we can talk about some of our goals for 2024. But for today, I just wanted to highlight the great work that we did over the Christmas holidays. Thank you to
Yes.
everyone who shows up, who supports us, to you, Barbara, to the whole team, um, because we are an engaged family and we are engaged we work together anything and everything.
Love you always, Queen Serena. Oh, I just
You,
hug you,
Barbara.
hug you. But lady, I just want to say before we close down here, but I just want to say, people, if it's just $10, I mean, and I'm not sitting here trying to be please, 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 but $10, you don't know how far. I just want people to understand how far a $10 bill can go to.
At $10, I'll tell you right now, like we lost, unfortunately, just to try to put it into perspective, we lost some children to malnutrition this year. Children that should be in school, thriving, learning, and growing, we lost them to malnutrition because we can't implement a daily food program. This is in our program, in with our students that we've seen in our program for 6 years fade away because they're starving to death. So $10. You just give our charity $10, even just one time $10, so you can do it monthly. You can feed a child for the whole week that they're at school.
Wow, that's a lot.
$10 will put 5 meals in their belly, which will be at least one hearty meal a day that we know will sustain them for at least that day.
So that's I'm glad you broke that down, because people need to understand how that money can just be stretched so much for that child, and we won't lose children because of malnutrition. That is ridiculous and crazy, as you can all imagine. So yes. So we just asked, and we also, I want to put out there before we close, is that if you have an organization, because we're talking about sharing love, family, we want to spotlight you, just like, and we want to spotlight not just nonprofit organizations, but we're going to be coming into spotlighting certain individuals that's doing acts of kindness out there. That's really helping. You don't have to be a nonprofit. You can just be your own person. You're out there just spreading the love. Maybe you are paying for people's food. Maybe you're out there, housing some people. That would be a wonderful story to hear. So bring it here, because we want to hear that, and we want people to know what's happening in the world. So with that said, Serena, love you, Queen. We will see you on the next episode of Help Humanity. And as I always say, put that act of kindness out there, because it's so important. People need your love. See
Yes,
you
yes,
soon.
yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes. We love you. We'll stay tuned. Thank you, Barbara, for everything. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see each other soon.
Okay, looks like okay.
Peace out.